Curt Hansen blunders against Viswanathan Anand in this match, which cost Curt this match. And Anand is playing with the black pieces, and Curt Hansen is rated 2600, and Anand is rated 2753 in this match. So this is the English opening that is being played now, and knight c6 makes this the king's English variation, and this is the four knight variation of the English opening that is going to be played. So bishop to b4 now attacking the knight, and the knight jumps to d5 attacking this bishop. So bishop retrieves to c5 now, and after that the pawn push to d3 allows this dark square bishop to activate and completes the pawn structure. So the knight captures the knight on d5, and the pawn captures back with an attack on the knight here on c6. So the knight jumps to d4 now, and after which the knight captures the knight and the bishop captures the knight back. So bishop now goes to g2. This earlier g3 move was to p-entry this bishop, which will allow you to castle on the king side, and castles on the king side. Anand first, and Curt Hansen follows in the next move. So d6 by Anand, allowing him to complete the pawn structure and also allow you to develop your light square bishop. So pawn push to e3 attacks this bishop on here at d4. So bishop retreats to b6, and immediately the pawn push to a4 happens, threatening to push the pawn to a5, and resulting in threatening this bishop basically, because later on you can just push this pawn and the bishop could be in some kind of trouble, and this pawn will be a good pass pawn for white. So a5 is played, preventing this pawn from pushing further and attacking the bishop, and also preventing it from being a pass pawn. Bishop to d2 now attacking this pawn here, but it is very nicely defended, and bishop to d7 by Anand, and now the queen and the rooks are connected, and bishop to c3 now looking at this pawn here on g7, this king's pawn, and f5 by Anand now allowing him to develop his rook and to attack the Curt Hansen's king on the king side. So king moves to h4 now, but a better move would be to push this pawn here and attack the central pawn structure, but he didn't do that, and Anand immediately brings his queen to e8, double attacking this pawn and also allowing him to develop his queen later on in the game. So pawn push to b3 defends this pawn, and a rook comes to f6 now with the intent of bringing his rook later on here to h6 and launching an attack on the king side of Curt Hansen. So f4 by Hansen, trying to open up and to bring his rooks into the game, and rook to h6 by Anand as intended, and e4 is now played. The best move would be here to capture this pawn with the pawn, which would open up, which would create some kind of counterplay for this rook and the queen to come into the game. But e4 is played instead, and the queen comes to g6 by Anand, now bringing his pieces into the game and forming an attack. So here, Curt Hansen blunders and captures this e5 pawn with his f pawn, which basically is a blunder. So as you can see, this pawn here is hanging because this pawn on h7, h2 is basically pinned, and the queen can just take this pawn and it cannot capture back because this pawn here is pinned. So Anand here is now threatening checkmate, and the only possible move here is to cover it with your bishop like this, and once the rook captures the bishop, again threatening checkmate, the queen can come to d2 here, trying to prevent checkmate, but still it's a you're already down a piece against a player like Anand so early in the game, and this bishop is a dangerous piece, and this light square bishop will soon join the attack, and the game is as good as dead. And because of this, once this capture happened, Curt Hansen gracefully resigned the game, and Anand won the match. So thanks for watching. It's always good to not to make such blunders, because this was a critical position. He should have defended it, but he didn't, and which costed him the match. So thanks for watching. We'll be back with more such videos.